Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Willoughby Podcast, episode number 4. I am back after multiple months absence from doing the podcast. I had to take a little break to get things in order, but I'm real up and ready to go. In case if you want to know about how I'm going to be doing this podcast, how I'm going to be scheduling it, is that I will be doing this every once in a little while. If it's a particular major event or any sort of any sporting event, like I said, sporting event or major political event, I will commentate on that very day to the best of my ability. As of course, I've been working a lot lately, but I will be willing to do podcasts every once in a while. So this is not going to be a weekly thing like I did in the past, like I tried to do in the past. But anyway, I will be doing podcasts every once in a while, like I said. So feel free to hook me up on the my Facebook page, which you can see on the link. It is facebook.com/The Michael Willoughby Show, or Steel City Express. You can Google it and subscribe to that. Or go to my main blog at michaelwilloughby.org. That's michaelwilloughby.org. I will start renewing my domain in the coming day or so, as it's close to expiring. Anywho, let's get right to it. As at the time of recording this very podcast, the city council for this very city, where I probably call home, and sometimes I get agitated about saying that this because it's politics, is regards to the LRT situation in Hamilton. Tonight, as of this time, as the time we're going to the podcast right now, the city is debating and hopefully we'll get a vote to either continue with the LRT or suspend it altogether, and which a typical council protocol would call it death by delay if the LRT turns down. So as of this time, I would rather see the vote get on by the time this podcast ends, but it's more likely they're going to talk about it. It is the usual council meetings every other Wednesday of the month during the election tenure. During the yearly cycle. It's every other Wednesday at City Hall here in Hamilton, Council Chamber, second floor. This is up to be the biggest meeting to date. As like I said, LRT is up for grabs. As of right now, according to many parts of the Hamilton media, even CBC, in Hamilton, CBC regional coverage in Hamilton, they decided upon themselves to investigate on this LRT and to see who's for and who's against. I don't remember the names exactly or who's in favor. I think most two notable councilors that are in favor, and those two most notable who's against it. The ones that are in favor, the most notable is Jason Farr and I believe it's Matthew Green. Matthew Green's the one that is in council that won. They won a few years back, which was vacated because of the passing of Bernie Monreale. And Matthew Green, Jason Farr, big fans of them. I was talking with my friend about this very LRT issue, and my friend Claudio, who is my former podcast partner of the Tiger's Den podcast that we covered a couple of years ago. He was on the bus with me last week. When we both went up to the Maple Leaf Square in Toronto. We talked about the LRT, and the LRT, he said it is going to be a great opportunity, and let's hope we get it. It's a long, long time that we have this opportunity, and we can't blow it. We can't blow it. As I said, he is a big fan of Jason Ford and Matthew Green. Councilors Green and Ford has been the two most favorable councilors of all the city of Hamilton. And I would think Jason Ford, based on experience alone, would be the best candidate to go for the mayor position. With all due respect to Fred Eisenberger, who has been a transit-heavy mayor and has been probably one of the most consistent people, if not the most consistent political official of this city that has voted in favor of LRT. Yours truly, before I go into my take of LRT, the other two notables who is not in favor of LRT is Terry Whitehead, who on the record for 50 times over the last 4 or 5 years when they came to this vote in phases. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Whitehead was originally in favor of LRT. Yes, folks, they were originally in favor of LRT. And somehow he decided to flip the switch. And he's not the one who can flip the switch on the vote. And Samuel is the other one who has been famously known as to flip the vote. I can tell you this based on experience alone. From watching councils before, council meetings, it's just like a very few meetings here and there. And I watched on video as well, Cable 14 from time to time. Terry Whitehead's got to go. Terry Whitehead and the other notable one, Donna Scully. I mean, those two, Donna Scully is less than qualified to be the Ward 7, I believe it's Ward 7 councilor. This lady was not originally born here. She was, for the large part of her broadcasting career in her time here in Hamilton, lived in the west end of Hamilton and decided to get on to Central Mountain and literally steal the vote, steal the spot away from a young, notable individual who I think would have had a better shot of being a council than just Donna Scully. It's more like a name attraction. And all I can say is, without a shadow of doubt, Don Scully, Terry Whitehead, I think you make a case to Sam Muella, they gotta go. They have got to go without a question about it. As far as LRT is concerned, right now there are 7 votes in favor, including the mayor and 6 other councillors, most notably Jason Ford, as I mentioned, and Matthew Green. I think there is about 2 or 3 others. Scully and Whitehead is opposed. I think it's Partridge has flipped the vote. Has flipped the vote. I think Vanderbeek Collins has opposed as well. This is going to be one of those votes that you got to flip the switch. But the 2 most notable ones, of course, is the Scully and Whitehead in opposed, and in favor councillors Ford and Green. My quick intake of my quick interpretation, my quick opinion about the LRT. Let's get over with. I'm in favor of LRT. I was originally opposed to it, but because of a little more research, which guys like Whitehead, Skelly, and Partridge from Flambeau doesn't want to admit, but publicly admit, is that with more money and more attraction, it has come down to the fundamentals of the city. We're talking about an LRT corridor that goes from McMaster to now, they'll bring it back to Eastgate option. The government, just about an hour ago until this time of the record of the podcast, exactly an hour ago, that the LRT extension to Eastgate Square is a go by the government. The government is willing to help out, but at the time, there will be no extra money. I think the extra money should be used from the already eliminated spur line from the James Street North. They could have done it. They could have salvaged the B Line Express and then go take that equation away, and then we put the Eastgate extension as that originally is. Originally, it was from McMaster to Eastgate, but when the funding came by the government of $1 billion, it was decided by Metrolinx that Metrolinx, who, by the way, is covering all 100% of the cost, by the way, not a single dime is coming from the expense of the taxpayers of the city. This is an absolute, no doubt, it should not be a debate, worth a debate. I think this councils like Whitehead and Skelly, and well, they're trying to salvage their career. They're not doing it for the well-being of the wards. They're doing it to salvage their careers by flip-flopping votes, just trying to gain leverage, trying to say, no. You guys are on record. Whitehead voted 50 times in favor of LRT. There's no dispute right there. But when it comes to me talking about LRT, I say we go for it. Like I listened to Sam Muella at the City Matters program on Cable 14 not too long ago. He has said that this is 100% covered by Metrolinx, and it's also funded in part of the funding will rip up the roads, put LRT in, but before the tracks comes in installed, they're going to get rid of the sewage, which is over 100 years old. No wonder that we had, sewage backups, water main breaks in that part of the city. This is a must-win situation for the city. If we turn it down, that comes to show you, and I have said about the Toronto Argonauts, it's an accident waiting to happen. Well, I'll tell you this city, for generations, has been an accident willing to happen. Ever since Victor Cops, God bless his soul, was after he passed away, giving up his middle rights, and he died soon after. I'll tell you this right now, folks. This is absolutely a must-win. We'll get my 2 cents on it in a couple weeks' time. We're a little bit running out of time in the schedule. We just got just a little minute left. But here's the thing about the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to talk about very quickly. The Browns draft is tomorrow. The selection in the first round, first overall and 12 overall. My picks is Myles Garrett. You got to go with the best man available. It will show up the defensive end, and with Greg Williams, his track record. They want pass rushers that can aggressively go after the quarterback. Myles Garrett is that guy. And I would say Deshaun Watson over Bishop Trubisky based on experience and performance in the clutch alone and extensive experience. Trubisky has 15 games under the belt. Only 15 games as a starting quarterback. Deshaun Watson is like 40, 50 in his career. More about that in a couple of weeks. My results about the draft. I'm Michael Willoughby. This has concluded the podcast. So long for now.